Welcome to O'Sullivan Guitar Works Studios, and today at OGW we're taking a look at the Vintage VS6 reissued SG. So I picked up my Vintage VS6 SG in a trade. I had recently got my hands on an Ibanez SA120EX, which was a special edition of the SA120s, and I found I didn't really enjoy playing it as much as a lot of Ibanez's. I don't think I'm a huge fan of the S and SA models. So I found an advert for a guy who was looking for trades on a vintage SG, and I thought I'd give it a shot. And as far as a straight swap guitar for guitar goes, I think I made out quite well on the deal. As the 120EX was kind of a very bland guitar. It didn't really have much personality to it or character to it. It was just a very basic, simple guitar. Versatile, but not much fun to play. So I brought the guitar home and gave it a once over. It was in really good condition. The man had only owned it for about 2 or 3 years, he said, and he'd played it a few times at practice with his band, but mostly it had been stored in a gig bag in his house. So the VS6 features a mahogany body with a set neck. The neck is a mahogany, and it is a 42.5mm nut with a lignum rosa fingerboard material. The inlay is a pearloid crown, and it has 22 frets. Now, the pickup configuration is 2 humbuckers, and these are Wilkinson MWVC double coils, both in neck and bridge position. The controls are 2 volume and 2 tone, with a 3-way pickup selector for neck, neck plus bridge and bridge. And it features a Tune-O-Matic with stop bar tailpiece, Wilkinson Deluxe WJ44 tuners, a black graphite nut, a 4-ply black scratch plate, and chrome finish on all the hardware. Now, as far as prices go, I've seen this guitar sell for around $289 to $329, and I've seen them advertised on second-hand selling places between $180 and $200. I've seen a few bad models that were quite damaged for cheaper, around the $100 to $150 mark. But if we are talking exclusively new, $289 to $329 is your rough ballpark. So if we're to take a look at comparisons and models that are very similar to this, we would be looking mostly at something like the Epiphone SG standards. Obviously, they're very similar guitars. There's minor differences, mostly in the headstock as far as appearance goes. It's available in the same sort of color options with the similar pick guards. But one thing that's different is that the Epiphone SG standards are around $399. Another option from Epiphone would be the cheaper range, and that's the Epiphone SG Special VE in vintage black, which is almost identical to this guitar, apart from, I believe, the build quality on these are a little suspect. They don't have the greatest QC from what I've heard, but double humbucker with a similar scratch plate and basically the same sort of layout, but with an Epiphone headstock, and these come in at around $159. I would say, due to the pricing and some of the things I've heard about the quality control, these are very much beginner guitars that I would avoid if you are more experienced and want to try something a little different but still nice. Now, a brand that has a direct competitor to the SG that sometimes gets overlooked is ESP and the LTD Viper series. Now, they have a range of Vipers from hundreds and hundreds of pounds all the way up to 1,000 or so pounds. But if we're talking about something similar to the vintage, we're looking at things like the Viper 200, which is around $299, or the Viper 10, which is around $229. And I would be remiss if I didn't look at Gibson's SGs themselves, but the biggest struggle would be finding something anywhere near this price point. The cheapest SG I could find with my research on brand new is about $999, and that is for the Gibson SG Tribute. But if you were to look for a direct comparison from Gibson to vintage and go for an all black and chrome SG, you would be looking at around £1,189 for the SG Standard Ebony. So let's head over to our demo section and hear what the vintage VS6 SG sounds like. So here we have the VS6 SG. It is in a very attractive high gloss black with chrome hardware, and it's all Wilkinson hardware, as we said in our specs. I really like the Wilkinson hardware on most guitars I've played. Like I said, I bought a Wilkinson humbucker and put it in my Flying V. I've said that in the past, I believe, and I've got a Wilkinson humbucker actually in the bridge of my Godin SDXT. In one of our last videos we saw that. And I've always had a fondness for Wilkinson stuff. They make really good pickups, and I think I've seen a few guitars that have had Wilkinson machine heads that have been really good, really like reliable, solid, stable machine heads. Features the rosewood board. The neck is very comfortable. It's very simple, like SG style neck. It's if you've played an Epiphone SG or a Les Paul SG before, it will feel very similar. It does have a finish on the neck, and like I've said before, I don't mind finished necks. I've got that on my Flying V, I've got that on my Les Paul, I've got that on most of my guitars apart from my Ibanez ones. I've got finished necks, so never been a problem for me. It's a really nice set-in neck. It's very stable, very comfortable. Action like down to the high frets, and access is really good. Never struggled with that when playing around with this. I personally love an SG. I do love SGs. I had a friend who had one when I was younger, and it was a cherry red Epiphone SG, very old school style one, and it was beautiful. It was a really nice guitar. I used to always play around with it. And then I had another friend when I was in college who had the I can't remember the model name, but a white 3 pickup SG, and that was beautiful. That was so much fun to play around with. And on lunch breaks, we'd go to his house. I'd play around with that guitar constantly. Now, I grew up listening to metal, and I grew up listening to Sabbath. So obviously one of the first things you're going to see when you look at this is Tony Iommi. You're going to think that immediately, because that style of all blacked out but with chrome hardware is just so cool. It's so Tony Iommi, and he's just so cool. So you can't not like that. It's got the 4-ply pick guard on it, the chrome covered Wilkinson humbuckers, the Tune-o-matic bridge. I personally like to wrap around the bottom and go over the top. That's something I saw on a post online from Joe Bonamassa, and he talked about how it does help with a little bit of increased sustain. I couldn't tell you a difference, because both the guitars I've got with Tuno bridges, I do the wrap over, and I don't have any sort of like comparison point, but apparently it's a good thing to do, and I tried it and I like it. It seems to help with the break angle from the stop tail to the bridge piece, so it seems to work. Otherwise, this is an extremely versatile guitar. There's a ton of tones you can get out of it, a ton of feel you can get out of this guitar. I've had it through clean, I've had it through distortion, and every time I've found new little things to play around with. Most guitars I play, I stick in the treble setting. I stay mostly in the bridge pickup and don't really mess around too much with the tone. But when I play this guitar, I really like to play in the rhythm setting. I really like the neck pickup. It's really warm, really nice, really smooth sounding. So enough of the chatting, let's get to playing. We're running through our Marshall amp, our trusty Marshall we always use, and we are in the clean channel at the moment. We are on everything all the way up to 10, and we are in the neck position. So let's have a little listen. Really nice, quite a standard sort of tone. It's nothing too harsh, nothing too underwhelming. It's very balanced, it's very simple. Now let's try the middle setting on the toggle. We're between the two. Really warms up the tone. It really brightens up the highs and really just kind of settles those. The guitar I'm playing right now tuning is in drop C, so you do have that kind of mix of the high to sort of low. I like that. I really like that sort of middle setting. It's comfortable. You can play around a lot, and you don't feel like you're going to wander into any territory where it's going to start sounding strange. So let's try the neck pickup now. Again, really like that. I find myself playing a lot more with this guitar in that sort of area. So a lot more sustain as well, it feels like, in that setting. So let's go back to the bridge pickup and have a little play around with the tone controls. We've got the volume here for the bridge pickup, so nothing there, and this is the volume for the neck pickup. We have the tone, which I believe this is mainly for the bridge, but actually both of them have a bit of play on the sound, so we'll try. That's it all the way off. Another way back up. Now we'll try the neck control. Slight coloration. Now let's try that again, both of them with the middle setting. That's completely off. It's completely on. Let's try it with the neck. Completely on. Completely off. So you're noticing a difference there. You can clearly hear there is a bit of a tonal sort of change. So let's try the neck position now. That's the bridge control off. Try the neck one. It's on. Now completely off. You can hear a difference there where it cuts the tone. This might be one guitar of many I've played where I think I like the bridge position, the neck position more than the bridge position, because I think I've always lent towards bridge position on guitars. I favour that more with my sort of everyday use guitar and my 7-string, so much so I've got the custom sort of the Invader put in the bridge, and I tend to, when I customise a guitar, I tend to mostly focus on the bridge. As a sort of mostly metal player, I do lean on a bridge sound more, but I do like to be diverse and have the options and a bit of diversity. And when I have played clean stuff in the past and when I've recorded clean passages, a guitar like this I used on one of my solo projects to do some of the clean parts, whereas for the heavy parts I was using a Les Paul. I thought this just gave it a little extra flavour. So now we'll go over and try out the distortion channel, and we'll do same settings, same tests, all the pickups and the tone. So now distortion channel, we're going to try out the pickup configuration first from bridge, middle to neck, and then we'll try out the tones as well. It doesn't oversaturate too much, it doesn't go crazy with these pickups. They're not, I don't think, made to be super high output, and that's kind of nice. You get a bit more of a balanced tone, you get a bit more of an even tone. You can throw something like an overdrive or a compressor on maybe to give you a bit more kick in the distortion, but yeah, it's quite a nice natural even tone. This is a nice balanced tone there. So that's the bridge pickup. We'll get a little bass line. Here's the middle setting. See a bit more of a throaty sound on the low end there. Now the neck. Now we'll have a play around with the tone. Neck pickup there. I think the neck pickup is, before we get to the tone, the neck pickup is nice because I think it takes an element of the bridge and an element of the middle tone and almost funny enough, even though it's not a blending setting, a position, it is taking kind of the strengths of both. Give you a bit more of that open. Ooh, badly out of tune. Yeah, we have like sort of a mixture of the two tones there. I like. I think the middle position maybe is a bit too much twang, a bit too much of that open twang on the open C there I was getting. I think there's just enough of a balance between the two on the neck position. Corrected my tuning issues there, and now we will try out the same thing we did on the clean setting, where we'll try the tone knobs with the different pickup positions. So I'm in the bridge right now, fully bridged. Now we will try the tone control. Tone is all the way up. Now all the way down. You can hear the difference, how much it draws out, the kind of distortion. Back to open full. And now the next tone control. Small amount of change there. Not a ton, but enough to notice it. Now we'll try the middle position, and we will mess with the bridge tone first. Try the next tone. Gets a bit muddy once you mess with that tone too much. Now we'll try the neck position. That's the bridge tone all the way down. Try that with the neck tone. That's all the way up. That's all the way down. I like in clean more the sort of neck pickup, but in distortion I think I really like the bridge pickup a bit more. Definitely a bit more bite in that bridge position. Right, as far as sound goes, I like this guitar. I think it sounds really nice. I think the sounds speak for themselves. There is a broad spectrum of things you can do with it. It has a good range of feels to the different tones. That sort of neck position on the clean tone is really nice and really warm. If you do like that kind of twangy, where you want to get a little extra twang into those low notes, the middle position is great, but that bridge biting in distortion is very cool. I imagine this would take really well with a few different pedals, like a bit of like a reverb on this, a little extra reverb lashed on top would be really nice for some clean parts. And overall, this guitar is really fun to play. I really like the neck. I really like the feel of the neck. You can see here, it's got that typical kind of Les Paul SG neck. It's almost like that baseball back neck. I've heard it described sometimes. A little less fat at the back, a bit flatter profile, but very much in that sort of classic style. I love the body shape. Obviously, the SG shape is a classic. It's a very appealing guitar. It doesn't feel dissimilar to any Epiphones SGs I've played and Gibson SGs I've played in the past. There's not that much of a dramatic difference between the two. I think maybe the electrics, there'll probably be some differences there, but that's something that you might be getting down to the minutiae. And I think if you are going to buy a guitar like this, you can mod it quite easily yourself. You could definitely put in new capacitors in it and different things to kind of maybe boost it. I think the pickups are great, serviceable, perfectly good. If you want to take it out to gig or practice with, perfect. You can throw in your own pickups in there. I really like Gibson burst buckers. That'd be probably really cool in this in a bridge position. I love the neck position. I really like that. I'm not sure how much of that is the tone of the guitar or the pickup, or both of them blended together, but either way, I really like that position and that sound. And as a complete piece of kit, like buying it straight away off of a website, say you were to go to Gear for Music, I know they're a big stockist of vintage gear, I would say this is a great buy. I think they come in around the sort of between 200 and 300 mark, and they're worth it. If you're going to invest in sort of a first guitar, this would be great. A mid-range guitar, this would even be perfectly serviceable. You got a few more quid knocking about, no doubt. Take a look at Epiphones and even Gibsons, but this is a good guitar for what it does. It is very solid, and I think would be very, very dependable. And also, if you're a big Tony Iommi fan like myself, you're going to love the look of this guitar for sure. So that was the Vintage VS6 SG in black and chrome. A fun guitar, a really nice guitar. I think a really well built guitar from the feel of it, and super comfortable and tonally very broad. So if you like what you've seen today, please like, share and subscribe. Maybe you've got a Vintage SG and you like it, maybe you didn't like it. Let us know in the comments, and let us know what you'd like to see us cover in the future. More guitars, more pedals, or if you'd like to see us do some different things. We have got some plans down the pipe for something a little bit different from our usual gear overviews. So take it easy and take care.